got him to agree to,
Yeah.
is that you deliver some training to counsellors, that you deliver a dossier of everybody's complaints.
Wow.
That it can be looked into. And I'm going to send you an email to that effect this afternoon.
Wow.
We're going to make an official complaint against the head of comms for calling you a liar.
Wow.
So that the council offers you a formal apology, because he had no right to do that.
Yeah.
And that was unprofessional of him, and he wasn't acting on behalf of the council when he did that. We also want you to deliver training to the chief exec and the senior officers so that they can fully understand the needs of survivors. We want to offer you accommodation so that you can meet your survivors groups whenever you want, in a safe place, in a building which should be secure for you to be able to...
Oh, don't cry.
Listen to.
Don't cry.
You know, the ambulance chase, this sounds really bad, but the ambulance chase who followed you outside last night were just as bad as the nasty bastards behind me who were sneering up at you, saying, "We'll give you what you want. What do you want? What else do you expect?" They were just as bad.
I'll tell you what we expect, yeah.
Yeah, well, the fella who followed you out was Jackie Bedding's husband, right? I told Jackie Bedding that children in her ward were being abused.
Right.
And she did fuck all. The other woman who came out, Lynn Brosnan, she's one of the ones who said to me, "We all knew about Cyril Smith. We all knew about Cyril Smith. Everybody knew. Everybody knew."
Okay guys, you're okay, this is Red Pill Phil, back with you again. I hope you're all doing well, liking and subscribing. This is a topic that me personally for my channel I won't be letting go, and I'm in fine company in this room that feels exactly the same way. I did allude to you a couple of weeks ago that we was going to go deeper on what is going on in Rochdale. There's been promises made, there's been so-called compromises and so-called acknowledgement, but yet nothing is fruited whatsoever. So the last time that Danny was with me and Billy, we did say to you that now is the time to really slow things down and really put a timeline on the whole set of events, really, what had gone on. What am I talking about? I'm talking about really all revolving around Rochdale Council and Cyril Smith posthumously getting his honours removed from the Freedom of the City. Now, from that, there's been promises made to Danny, i.e. from Shatterboys / Survivors Matter, also to Billy from PAG UK, that there would be acknowledgement, there would be apologies made because allegations was made against Danny, and there would be collaboration between the Rochdale Council and Shatterboys and Survivors Matter and all the other affiliated organisations to acknowledge that we've got a grooming problem and we've got an historical abuse problem that's not being kind of adhered to, as survivors are not being acknowledged at all. So with that, I've got here with me now, I've got Danny from Shatterboy, and I've also got a lovely chap that I've met a couple of times. You all right, my friend? Yeah. If you'd like to introduce yourself, because I'm not sure how to address you and what information you want to release.
No, that's fine. I'm very, very open. My name is Mike Norton, and first and foremost, I am a survivor of historical child sex abuse. I'm a private detective and have been a private detective for well over 10 years now, specialising in miscarriages of justice work and assisting where I can, along with Danny for Shatterboys and the umbrella group Survivors Matter, and with regard to where I can, legal assistance, being, albeit that I'm not a solicitor, but legal assistance to assist where I can with the current state.
How long have you been working with Danny?
Well, it's strange. I actually met Danny in early 2017. I'd worked on another case, and I was introduced to Danny as Danny to assist Danny with his own case, his own ongoing case, where I can. And we met for about 2 hours. By the end of the 2-hour meeting, we basically turned around, and I'd gone from being investigator, questioning a survivor himself to me basically in tears as a survivor and receiving my first counselling from Danny.
Really? So was that not planned then? It was more
Absolutely
of a spontaneous, it was just drawn out of you?
No, I'd heard that there was this guy called Danny. He was a great guy. He ran a great cause, and he had a situation where our mutual acquaintance felt that I might be able to give Danny some advice, bit of guidance, possibly even using the investigation skills to see where I could help him.
Well, that certainly adds credibility to Danny's skills.
Absolutely.
in terms of survivors, looking after them and making sure that all the needs are met.
Reports of sexual abuse against men and boys have tripled in the past decade. Victims of abuse say there's still a taboo over reporting crimes. Well, now a group has been set up in Rochdale to offer support. Survivors Matter meets every 2 weeks and is hoping to set up a nationwide network. Jonas Muller reports.
Only now is Simon Hart able to speak publicly about what happened to him. He says that he was sexually abused, but no police action was taken because of a lack of evidence. Then, 18 months ago, he started getting support from other survivors of abuse.
When things bad like this happen, you do think about killing yourself because you feel that you've got no power, you don't know who to turn to. It took me a long time to speak to my family because it's just hard saying the words. Thanks to these guys, you know, a lot of the problem is it's taboo.
And this is where a new peer-to-peer support group in Rochdale is aiming to make a difference.
It's just little baby steps, all in your own time. I know it's something that's new to you, and I know it's something that you've never really gone into.
Survivors Matters UK is holding sessions every 2 weeks. The aim isn't counselling, but to share experiences.
Feelings up and down. Had a few sleepless nights really. Not in a bad way, just lots of different things to think about. Good and bad.
And if required, offering wraparound support.
There's a distinct lack of funding for face-to-face support. There's massive waiting lists. We're cutting those waiting lists. When someone gets in touch, we will go and meet them straight away within 72 hours.
Earlier this year, the independent inquiry into child sexual abuse found Rotherham Council staff had failed in their most basic duty of care towards children at a number of institutions dating back to the early 60s.
To start, it's something that's local to each of us. It's a place that's local to each of us. And I think that, you know, obviously going forward as it expands, this is a great place to start because there are people here who need support and don't have the right support in place to help them.
The sessions will run for 3 months. The results could mean a national rollout, with more cities and towns where survivors of abuse can get the help they need. Jonas Muller, BBC Northwest Tonight, Rochdale.
So then, the reason why Mike's here, because going over to you now, Danny, we're talking obviously about the meeting with Sarah Rebotham, because that's really the counsellor that you could say that is on the inside, that you were led to believe that was going to do so much for you in terms of getting acknowledgement and getting this apology. Now, if we could go right back to the beginning in terms of when you first met.
Yeah, so I'd seen Sarah in the news. I'd seen what she'd done over in Rochdale. She'd done a documentary, The 3 Girls.
There's no such thing as a child prostitute. What there is a child who's been abused.
The 9 men have been released on bail.
How many victims?
47. And when they went to the police, nothing was done about it.
No one bothered. What do you think that does to a kid? We treat them as human beings and we say we're sorry.
This entire operation stands and falls on us being able to re-engage these girls.
What is the point if a jury is not going to believe she's telling the truth? I watched her interviews and I believed her.
Let's stop this. You and me.
3 Girls on BBC One.
She was a whistleblower and, you know, an all-round kind of like sort of fantastic hero of mine, to be quite honest with you.
You'd never had any meetings?
Never had any meetings.
At all, okay.
Tried getting hold of her, couldn't get hold of her, because she'd done that exposure at that time and she'd like sort of gone to ground basically. I wanted to get her for ambassador for Shatter Boys because of the institutional exposure and what she did. And that's where Mike came into it, because Mike actually found her, contacted her, built up a bit of a relationship with her. We had an event over in Lancaster for survivors at Loon Valley Rugby Club, and I spoke to Sarah on the phone.
So this is after Mike had intervened.
Yeah.
So can we just flip to Mike there then?
Yeah.
So when it comes to actually finding her, you don't have to go through the steps, but was it a long process? Was it hard to try and locate
No,
her?
I'm the investigator.
Well, yes, so for your job. So you didn't find it
so
too difficult?
Basically, obviously, I really can't go into too much detail. I was working on a relatively high-profile case that centred around the Rochdale area at the time. And the nature of the investigation, I felt if I could get Sarah Robotham on board with that investigation, then that would be a benefit to who were my clients at the time. And I managed to get in touch with Sarah, and whilst speaking to her, I asked her then, how would you feel about becoming an ambassador for Shatter Boys? And she was very humble, very, very humble. She's when the first time I met her, lovely lady, she was very, very humble. She thanked me profusely for the invite to be an ambassador. And
did she know of Shatter Boys?
Not at all, no.
Right.
I actually can't remember. I think I probably sent her links and contact details for Danny, and then I then passed that on over to Danny.
So she came over to the event on the day. She came all the way to Lancaster. I asked her to be ambassador, which she confirmed. I was absolutely over the moon, to be quite honest with you, with such a high-profile person.
So was that your first correspondence with her then, at that event, or did you talk to her in the meantime?
Previous to that event, I spoke to her on the telephone, gave her the address and stuff.
Right.
She came down on the day with a partner.
She did.
Had a good chat with her and stuff, told her about what we did. She was really excited and was like Mike said, she was really humbled to be on board. She got up at the event, spoke about what had gone on in Rochdale, her work, how she'd exposed them, and she spoke about the impact on herself as well, about it causing her PTSD.
But you must have felt that you were going mad.
Oh yeah, no, that's absolutely, that's the exact phrase. Yeah, really thought that I was the wrong one, and that I was going mad. Well, I did go mad. I mean, that's a technical term. I did, really kind of, my mental health really did suffer, because actually I was just faced with an incredibly high wall that was I couldn't get over, and lots of people were not seeing the things that I saw.
And not acting when you were doing the correct thing and making calls and taking notes and giving evidence. Yeah. Nothing was being done.
That's right. It was quite an isolating position as well to be in.
And it was like sort of enamoured with her, to be honest with you. I thought, what a fantastic find and what a fantastic catch. So she sort of joined forces with her.
What else did she do with you, rather than, just Lancaster?
It lasted about a year.
Right.
Up until the point of her contacting me again. There'd been some brief, sort of hiatus, sort of correspondence in between. But to be honest with you, we didn't need her for anything.
Right.
We was waiting for sort of our next big public event to sort of invite her down to.